Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Yesterday I was reading up on some more news regarding the Beatles Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band's 50th anniversary release. And these are 10, I guess, either demos or outtakes that are included. Of course there's more than that, but I thought I would read to you 10 of the songs. So here we go. Sit down. Now. Number 1, A Day in the Life. This is called the hum session. The original ending with the Beatles humming the famous final chord before they decided to do it with pianos instead. I never knew that. As Giles Martin says, they recorded A Day in the Life without the ending. They knew they were going to resolve on the E chord, but their first plan was to have a choir humming. The Beatles gather on the microphone to hum that final chord together, as John tells everyone, "Have you got the note? Stop freaking out." They overdub the voices into a full choir humming the chord, but as Martin says, they realized it wasn't a very good ending. That'll be interesting to hear. And then at the end of it, I'm going to say, ho-hum. Number 2, A Day in the Life once more. The epic final piano crash required a number of takes, with the Beatles and their mate Mal Evans manning every piano at Abbey Road. Paul calls out, "Have you got your pedal down, Mal?" The right hand one. They try to crash all the pianos together as Paul counts in the 1, 2, 3. And then he says, "I won't say 4, just imagine it." It takes a few attempts until they nail the instantly recognizable chord that ends the album. Number 3. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I like this one. The theme song begins as a long, raw guitar jam, stretching out at the end as Paul rants, I feel it, oh baby I feel it, I feel free now, gotta get free now." They were good drugs that day. Number 4, Penny Lane. Penny Lane, of course, was the second song recorded for the Pepper Sessions, blah blah blah. The new versions include a lavish Pet Sounds style version led by Paul's piano and harmonium. But the best is a backing vocal track that's all Paul and George doing hand claps and harmonies that didn't make the final version. The duo offer commentary on the music as it builds, with George making his suggestions. "Should I do that harmony?" At one point, George quips, "That'll have a backwards drum beat on that there." Paul replies, "Forwards drum beat." Poor George. Be nice to George, Paul. Number 5. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Take 1. These all sound interesting. Take 1. In the first take, John leads the song on acoustic guitar, a direct injection, as he calls it, while Paul follows on the electric keyboard. John's raw power vocal is a world away from the ethereal, did I say that properly? Dreaminess of the final version. Number 6, Within You Without You, an early version where George gives verbal instructions to the indie musicians about how he wants them to play. He says, "Okay, the main thing is the timing," and they give him their feedback. Says Giles Martin, "My dad said George was like watching someone make a carpet, thread by thread, thinking about each bit." Number 7, Getting Better. The first take is a totally different approach to the song. Paul leads on Wurlitzer keyboard for a more aggressive attack. John gives him some suggestions. I hate saying that word. Maybe because I'm Canadian it sounds... It's just me. Suggestions. John gives him some suggestions on the lead vocal. "Sing it, you know. I gotta admit," and all that, properly, if you can sing it. And, you know, there must have, of course there was competition between John and Paul, you know, for the songwriting, but even for the vocals, I guess, because remember later on for Abbey Road, John thought he could have sang Oh Darling better than Paul, which I doubt it, even though John's a great singer. Paul did a killer vocal take. And so maybe there's a little bit of, I don't know, jealousy or whatever when John says, sing it properly if you can sing it. Maybe he wanted to sing it. Number 8, With a Little Help from My Friends. An early take with Paul leading on piano, backed by John on guitar and George on cowbell. The famous bass line is yet to come halfway through. The famous bass line is yet to come. Halfway through, Paul really begins freestyling on piano. You can tell when Paul gets bored with the take, Giles Martin says. When he gets to the point where he realizes it's not the final take, that's when he starts trying out ideas for the next take. 2 more. Fixing a Hole. Much more rocking than the album version, with Paul trying a rhythm and blues approach to the harp short, I can't even pronounce that, and Ringo cutting loose on drums. As on so many of these alternate versions, Ringo's inventive drumming is a revelation. And people thought this was just the album where Ringo spent the sessions learning to play chess. Actually, that was his comment that he made, that he played a lot of chess on the Sgt. Pepper sessions. I had to say that again, didn't I? The band vamps until Paul announces, and that's it. And the final one of the 10, Sgt. Pepper Reprise. This one sounds good too, yeah. They recorded this at Studio 1 instead of their usual Studio 2. One of the reasons it was always the Pepper track with the most spontaneous live band feel. Paul marvels at the new surroundings. All the shapes around the studio and all those bubbles there and bumps there. As you can hear, all 4 musicians jump into the by then rare challenge of jamming together. And Giles Martin says, it's just boys in a room making noise. But like all of these Pepper outtakes, it's a landmark of how innovative and inspirational that noise could be. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. But I was thinking yesterday, I really enjoyed the Beatles Anthology series, the CDs with all of the outtakes and demos. And I loved it, of course. But I really don't play it that often. Like, if I'm going to play a Beatles CD, it's going to be one of their studio CDs for the most part. And I'm wondering if this will happen with the Sgt. Pepper outtakes too, you know. Okay, I've heard them a couple of times. I don't need to hear them anymore. But at the same time, I'm very excited and really looking forward to hearing them. I would love your thoughts in the comment section below. Please remember to thumbs up. Check out my Patreon page. Add me on Facebook if you like, and see you later. Bye.